As the editor-in-chief at Scarlet Magazine, Jacqueline, played by Melora Hardin, runs the show on The Bold Type. And as we enter the show's final season, it's an emotional journey that will celebrate all the women coming into their own. Take a look.
60 years ago, this magazine set out to redefine the rules. And now that responsibility falls to each one of you.
I think we owe it to this generation of women to make them feel heard.
Aren't you mad? If they're only helping a certain type of woman, what's the point?
I am not the future of Scarlet. You are.
Hey, you got this? Thank you for being here.
To Scarlet.
And Melora joins us now. Melora, it is so good to see you. How are you?
So good to see you. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Season 4, took us kind of deeper into Jacqueline's backstory, which everyone was so excited to see. What are we going to see kind of her dealing with in season 5, and how will things be wrapping up? Because it's the end.
It's the fun. Yeah, I mean, I think you really get to see Jacqueline finding her way into what that balance looks like in her life between work and her private life, her personal life. And she just works that through in ways that I think are, very, very in keeping with Jacqueline's character, with a lot of integrity, a lot of grace, and a little bit of surprises maybe too.
Yeah.
In the very end.
Well, and we see in the trailer that she's passing the reins on as editor-in-chief. How does that affect the other girls, like Kat, Jane, Sutton? Like, how does that impact them?
Well, I mean, they're forced to grow. They're forced to, meet that challenge, and they all meet it in different ways, in ways that are fun and challenging and exciting, and stretches them towards, where they need to be going.
Yeah. Well, you kicked off the season with this virtual table read, and then you all went to Montreal to film the season. I have to ask, what was it like going back and seeing everybody after COVID?
It was fantastic, and we were so grateful to be able to have a final season and to know that it was our final season, because sometimes you are doing a show and you don't know that that's your last opportunity.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. It was strange. There's no doubt. It was a strange working environment with all the COVID protocol, for sure. Because these are all people that we've been working with for 5 years. So there's a lot of love, and I'm a huggy person, and I have lots of people that I like to hug and that like to hug me. And we didn't get to have our hugs, and that was really sad. So that was hard. But we found our ways to connect, and I think we were all just so grateful to have time together one last time to really finish out these storylines and these characters in a way that felt real and right and good, and that would satisfy the fans and satisfied us.
Yeah. I'm a huggy person too. So isn't it so awkward right now? Because usually it's just like, come on in, like get in there, and you see someone you haven't seen for a while, and you're like,
do I, don't I? How do you feel? Right. I know. Well, some people are comfortable and some people are not. So I just ask that. I just always say, like, I'm comfortable if you are. Like,
yeah,
that's what I say, So it's like next level consent.
Yes. Can I hug you? One thing about this show that's been so great is that it really does take on topical issues, especially media related issues. Looking back at these last 5 years, what are you most proud of that the show has been able to accomplish?
I'm really proud that we have been forward thinking on this show. I think the writing has been almost sort of what's the word, when you kind of know something's coming, what's that called? Yes,
premonition
exactly.
type.
It's a P word. Yes, it's a P word. It's been kind of knowing where the tide is going, and it's been almost like right ahead of the tide, if not on top, right on top of the wave.
Yeah.
So I really love that about the show. And I also love that the Bold Type, sorry, my dog's gonna bark a little, I guess. Okay. I also love that the Bold Type is an example of media with integrity. And I think we've seen a lot of media without integrity.
Yeah.
And I'm very frustrated by that in the real world. And so, when I accepted the part of Jacqueline Carlisle on The Bold Type, I accepted it because I was coming off of Transparent, and I learned on Transparent that it's really wonderful to make great entertainment, but it's really special, extra special, I should say, to make entertainment that is also doing good in the world. And so I kind of had that in my sights, the next thing I was going to do, that I wanted it to be doing good in the world. And I feel The Bold Type has done that through my character, in the sense that she is a woman of power who is kind and graceful and has integrity. And though she has challenges and faces struggles of her own, she does that with kindness, most importantly with kindness, and also with with a moral compass that is constantly writing and constantly learning and constantly pivoting, but just has a real strong core. And I think the show has that. The show tries really hard, and has tried from the very, very first episode, to sort of make this world that is realistic but idealistic in its true attempts to really be a show in media about trying to do the right thing, trying to do the right thing, and trying to self-correct. And the show corrects, and the characters self-correct. And that's life, and that's what being humans are. And in this cancel culture, we're like, it's really scary what's going on right now. And because everybody has this giant megaphone called the internet, and social media, people that should never be speaking have a giant platform. And I was just talking to my husband about this, how we receive our news in such a different way in 2021 than even we did when we were kids. When we were kids, we would, our parents would get the newspaper, would land in the driveway. And and that would be, and whenever people would get to their news, it would be coming through channels that, of course, I'm sure had their spin, but not the way it does now.
There were standards.
There were standards, and there was reliable sources. And I feel like that even though we include social media in our show, I feel that we're at least trying to show what it looks like to be responsible on social media. And unfortunately, because social media and the internet itself is like the wild, wild west, and there really aren't many regulations and rules, and everybody can kind of do whatever they want, and there's no stopping you. It's really quite interesting. So I feel proud of that, and that's a surprise for me about Bold Type. I didn't know that was going to be one of our contributions of goodness in the world. I knew Jacqueline was going to be a great contribution for women of power, and for women in general to look, and young women to look at her and say, I want to be a boss like that. I want a boss like that. But now there's this element, this layer that's completely new, and just really, really in the forefront for me, and makes me even more proud than I.
And you mentioned coming off Transparent, you had this kind of idea of what that meant to you, and what you wanted to do next, and that was one of the things that brought you to Bold Type. Is that always kind of the way that you go about things? Like, you leave one project and you think, this is what I need in my life next, or this is what I'm seeking because it's where I'm at in my personal life. Does that affect your decisions?
That's a really, I've never thought about it like that, but yes, I think that does happen. I think that happens. I know that after The Office, I was really wanting to do something that was going to turn everybody's head in a way that was really, and I mean, I went and did, I did Chicago on Broadway. And so, I had people coming backstage to me being like, I can't believe you can sing and dance like that. And so it's fun. I think from The Office, I wanted to surprise people, and that really led me to Tammy and Transparent. And then I think from Transparent, I wanted to continue that sort of doing good in the world. And now I'm in an interesting place. I mean, I just, been directing a lot more. I directed on The Bold Type last season. I'd like to do more television directing. And I've also been directing a 4-part documentary series that is now cut together, and I'm shopping that right now. So that's, and that's going to be a whole different turn for any of my fans, because because they get to see the real Melora, which doesn't make me the most comfortable because I much prefer to,
Being
you know,
somebody else.
be a character. Be a
Yeah,
character.
yeah. I feel like it's hard. You know, you think that actors are very type A, they're very outspoken, but I think you know, a lot of actors are really hide behind the character almost because they're more comfortable with that. So I do think I think last time we spoke, we did talk about this 4-part series that you were doing, and I can't wait for it to be sold. I can't wait for us to see it. I'm sorry that you're uncomfortable with it.
You know what? I'm really not. I mean, I'm uncomfortable only because I have to face the fact that, you know, that there's really the real Melora there, and I'm not funny. I don't have the great lines. I'm not like, you know, like the fans might be like, why isn't she cracking jokes all the time? This is a very serious documentary. It's called Thunder Hunter and Me, so people can keep their eye out for it. And I'm just, yeah, it's just, but my subject in it, who's also my dear friend and one of my best friends, she's so incredible and raw that she gave me the courage to be vulnerable also. And that was sort of the deal that we made, even unwittingly. I don't think either of us knew I don't think we knew we were doing this. And we both have said, like, really? Do you think we'd do it again if we knew what this would have entailed? But we both go, no, don't.
So I think very often though, it's when you step out of your comfort zone, when you make something that's truly surprisingly amazing. So I'm sure a lot of people can't wait to see that. But I just wanted to touch on, I know that the Bold Type is wrapping up.
Yes.
Of all people, you know, the TV shows never die.
That's for sure. I know.
You know, people are still obsessed about The Office. You know, news broke recently because Angela Kinsey and Jenna Fisher broke the news that Jan's baby was actually Andy Roddick's baby. Which, did you know about this? They said on their podcast that Jan's baby was from Andy Roddick, and people went crazy over this because apparently it was from a deleted scene. Did you not even know?
No, no one ever. That's not. Well, I don't know where they got that information, but I like it that the fans think it's great. I mean, I played Jan, and I never heard that.
Oh my gosh!
All I can tell you is that was not what I was told by Greg Daniels, the creator of the show. But
did you have another idea who the baby was from?
Well, I was always told that she got a sperm donor, and that was sort of the joke of the fact that she got the sperm donor. The joke was that she you know, that she sort of wanted Michael to play daddy, and that, you know, come to the birthing classes and all that, but that she, you know, and he would have probably happily given his sperm for that because he was so infatuated with her at that time. And so yeah, that was what my understanding was. But you know what? I don't know. Jenna and Angela were on the show longer than I was, so maybe that changed. Maybe the writers added in some new information that I was never privy to. I've never heard that.
Well, I'm glad to break the news.
So tell me what they said, just so I'm in the know.
They just said it was Andy Roddick's baby, and that it was from a deleted scene, and then everybody blew up about it and went crazy over it. But I mean, speaking of Jan, though, you really embraced Jan during the pandemic. You made the candles, Serenity by Jan candles, and the proceeds went to charity. How much did you love just taking that on?
Well, you know, it's just everybody finds it so much fun and they laugh so much. It brings so much joy. I had so many people come up to me. People recognize me with my mask on. I couldn't believe it. But people would say to me just, you know, how much joy it brought them during the pandemic, and how they would just sometimes have it just running in the background, and how, you know, it just made them so happy. So that always makes me happy that there can be some bright light in it. I also did sort of a spoof on it, and I did on my Instagram a sort of music video of one of my original songs called Smile, and I did sort of a spoof on it. And then that kind of inspired me because there was this wonderful artist, Janie Korn, who had made me a candle that she does these incredible sculptures that are like sculptures of it. And it was a sculpture of Serenity by Jan candle, which I used in my Smile video on Instagram. And I got so much great feedback that I thought, you know, wouldn't this be great to make my own Serenity by Jan by Melora candles? And so I created the scent, and it's called Calm. And I thought Calm was both funny because it's something Jan always needed, a little more calm in her life. But also it was I think it was also healing, because we all need some calm. Like there's just so much turmoil. And I think on, again, getting back to the bold type, like in media, there's so much turmoil. And I think media right now, like every kind of media, it's just 24/7, right? It's like, if you want to tune in, you got 24/7, and they're always looking for the story. They're creating the story because it is a business. So the business is like, it's constant, like,
noise.
Noise, and it's constant, fear mongering, and there's just too much information. And how do you even, how can you sift through, and where, you can find anything you want. So I feel like that's another great thing about the bold type, is that there is a sense of calm in the way that you don't get that like crazy overwhelming feeling on the bold type. And that's why I wanted to name the Serenity by Jan by Melora Candle Calm, because I want to try to put a little more calm in the world.
Good, because we all need it. We do need a little Serenity by Jan, and we do need some calm. But you mentioned it, but aside from acting and candle making and directing, music is obviously a very big part of your life. Any plans to return to the stage? Any plans for music coming up anytime soon?
Gosh, thank you for saying that. I was just thinking I need to make another record. It's been a while. I have some songs I'd like to do. And I was thinking maybe I'll do like a little Zoom concert or something soon. Maybe in the fall, I'll try to put together just a little, because now that people have gotten so comfortable with Zoom, my fans from like Australia and Peru and Colombia, they can tune in, and we can have like a little intimate evening together over Zoom. And now we all know how to have an intimate evening together over Zoom, right?
Oh, right.
So
like now it's accepted.
Yeah, it's accepted.
It's normal.
Right. And maybe that's one of the positives now. And so maybe I'll do something like that, because I do miss it. I do miss it a lot. Yeah. And I'll do
promise me you'll sing the Tangled song.
Oh my God, that was so much fun. Mother Knows Best.
Oh, such a good song. And you were so great at singing it.
Oh, thank you so much. That was fun to do that in my backyard.
Yeah, and yes, that's where you should do your Zoom concert.
Oh, do you think maybe in my backyard?
Yeah. Do it in your backyard, set some lights up, put that beautiful door behind you with the stained glass.
Yeah, those stained glass windows out there. That would be nice. The only thing is that I have a friend who has a whole setup with all these, with his cameras already all set. And
that's nice too.
Maybe that would be
nice too. Then you don't have to do it, Melora. All right. Well, listen, you can catch the Bold Type every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. on Freeform, and the following day on Hulu. Melora, it's always good to see you. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
So good to see you. You're lovely, and have a wonderful day.